What's up, Markham Gardens family? I'm excited because today we are building the chicken run expansion. We've got so many chickens and they need some more room. Don't you, Leo? So today I'm going to be taking you guys along. We're going to go ahead and build the expansion. I think today on this video we're probably just going to do the frame. I'm going to build the frame to the extension, and I don't have a way of time-lapsing, so I will just show you guys a couple different steps, basically what I'm going to do. So hope you guys are excited, hope you follow along, and I'll see you in a little bit. Hello, Markham Gardens family. Just coming back to you today. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. I'll start with the bad news first, that way we can get that out of the way. On my last video that I did, I was talking to you guys about how I was going to go ahead and do a fall update for the gardens and show you guys everything on what was happening, which in that fall garden update would have shown you those bananas when they were absolutely beautiful before they got hit with frost early fall. So, but the whole garden was looking great. The downside to this is that update is now lost because I decided to use my phone flashlight to look down in our well cistern and dropped my cell phone down in the well cistern. So all that data, all that video was totally lost. I could not recover it. So there's the bad news. There will be basically no great fall update, and this video obviously coming up next, I told you was going to be the fall update. Obviously it's not a fall update, and I may still do a fall update, but it looks like most of the plants and stuff are already dropping their foliage, just because we did hit that early frost a couple weeks ago. So anyway, let's get on to the good news here. The good news is, as you guys can see behind me here, you see if I can make you dizzy, here is our chicken run. Now our chicken run runs along that side of this shop building that I have here. And we are to the place of about 50 plus chickens, and we've got 22 chicks in the incubator that are about to hatch in about 4 days, guys. So we're about to be overrun with chickens, and I've got plans for having even more chickens. So because of that, we decided I've got to make a bigger chicken run. That keeps, by keeping the chicken run larger and giving the girls more space to run around, it causes less stress on them. They usually lay more eggs. Just means happier chickens, guys, and happier chickens is happier eggs and happier us. So, but anyway, so today I am look at Mufasa back there doing the little tightrope. Anyway, today I'm going to be expanding this chicken run. I'm just going to show you guys around real quick, just kind of show you what I'm doing. I'll try to give you guys updates as I go through this. I don't have a means of just setting the tripod up and doing a time lapse, which a lot of people love. I love them. I love watching them. I just don't have that capability right now. I will soon in the future. And so, but let me turn this around, and I'm just going to show you guys real quick kind of what we're looking at on this chicken run. And I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of the design feature that I do. Unlike a lot of people, I don't build with wood around here. Out here in Southeast Texas, we've got so much rain, 55 plus inches, that basically wood will rot out right out from under you. So, basically what I do is I build everything with metal. So I build with T-post supports, and then I run rebar across the tops of those supports. Thereby building a frame, I use a metal wire to bind those, and then I wrap everything with chicken wire. And so let me just turn this around real quick and I'll show you guys kind of what we have going on. So over here where we have our actual chicken run that's currently being used, you guys can see at the top of these T-posts, so I have these T-posts driven into the ground as support. Hi, Leo. There's Leo, guys. Just a quick, beautiful rooster. Well, anyway, I have these T-posts that are driven into the ground. They're driven in about 2 feet, and then they run up to the top. And then at the top of these T-posts, you guys could see I started off using zip ties just to get everything fastened, and then I ended up wiring. But you can see that there's metal wire that binds all of this to the top of this T-post. And so if you look, that runs all the way up to the top. And you can see all through there. So there's T-posts, there's T-posts all the way around. And then between each is a grid, basically, of rebar. You guys can see the rebar that comes. Anyway, that's how I do the grid. Hello, Mufasa. Mufasa says hi, everybody. And so I run that grid, and then I take this chicken wire and I basically wrap it around the grid, and then I come down to the side and I will run chicken wire through on both sheets. So there's one sheet that goes to the top and there's one sheet that goes down to the bottom. And then I bind those, I weave them with a metal wire. And guys, it makes for a super strong structure. I've never had any issues with it. It stood the test of time in Phoenix, Arizona. Now that we're here in the rain, I'm sure you can see there's a little bit of rust that starts developing on the wires. Over time, I'm gonna have to rebind some of these. The chicken wire seems to last a lot longer than the actual binding wire does, but you can see it starts to rust. There may be some areas in the future where we'll have to patch up, but guys, chicken wire is cheap. It's not, it's not super expensive, super easy to put on here. I don't have any crazy pests, so I haven't had to put anything heavier than just chicken wire. If you guys do have a lot of predators, if you've got bobcat, you've got coyotes, you've got things like that, guys, they will bite right through that chicken wire to get into your chickens. And so you may actually have to put something a little bit stronger, but we're able to stick with this right here. So, but you guys can see here, so I've got one that has already come out of the end. This is the extra that was left over from when I originally wrapped the first chicken, the chicken run area. And then I've gone ahead, I went down and picked up to Parker's and picked up another set of 8 of these, and they're a 1/2 inch rebar. So 1/2 inch holds just enough rigidity and allows me to also bend stuff over the top of areas. And so let me turn it around again. Also, you guys, I got, obviously because I, dropped my phone down the cistern, I was able to get a new phone. So we now have a lot better camera footage. Before I was just using my selfie camera, and now I can switch back and forth. So thank you, God, for that. So, but right here is where it binds. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this with wire. You can see that I've already come down here. I have gone ahead and wrapped this to the top of the T-post. Guys, it's not going anywhere. I mean, I'm pulling on that thing. It's there. It's definitely not going anywhere. So that's held solid. I'll do the same thing down here. You can see where the pliers are, and then down there on the end. And then there's going to be one that's going to wrap from here, come up over the top of this. This is the top of the door. So these two here is going to be the door to the end of the coop area. It's going to wrap over the top of this door section. And then I'm going to drill a hole up here on the top of the shop to run those rebar up through those holes to help support it on the actual building. And so there'll be another one that runs across here and over the top of this one and down to that one. And so basically just completing an entire grid in this area. But you guys can see a whole lot more room for the chickens, a whole lot more space. You can see they're not super crowded in there, and they're doing okay. They seem happy. They're laying enough eggs. But I want to give them a little bit more room. Just the more room you give your chickens, the happier they are. So anyway, I will update back with you guys as I get some progress going along. Just gonna continue working on some of this. I'll hope you follow along, guys. This is a method that I've done a couple times, works really well, and it's not really that expensive. I think the rebar itself is maybe $11 a piece. I got 8 sticks of it. That's gonna last forever. The roll of wire, let me see, oh, it's in my pocket. I'll show you guys. It's basically just old baling wire that they use for rebar tie. And I think this stuff maybe costs $9–10 a roll for this stuff. And then the chicken wire, which is probably the most expensive out of all of it, and even that's not too bad. So anyway, I'll be right back and update you guys on what we got going. All right, what's up guys? I'm back. I have gone ahead and finished the framing. It took me a couple hours just to wire everything together, but you guys can see here behind me, you can see the framing. I've got 3 of these. You can see it goes into the building right there. Goes into the building right there, goes into the building right there, that spans down to the top of the fence line over here. And then I've got a center one that runs from here, and then it runs right back to that point right there, which is the middle point on the previous run. So right here in the front, I'll show you guys real quick. On the door, this one here ran from the fence line. I went ahead and ran it up to the top of the door loop here. Over to this side, which is where I'm going to end up framing a door in, so that we can not only get in from around the other side of the shop back there, but we can also get in right here on this side. And then I went ahead and ran that up to the building here, and put a hole in this side too. So guys, those don't run all the way through the wall. They basically, all of the lumber that's built into this shop is all full size. So when it says 2x4 or 2x6, it is literally 2 inches thick. So I was able to drill into that without drilling all the way through, and it was able to hold that rebar really, really nice. So, but as you guys can see here, let me just go ahead and flip this around and I'll show you guys real quick. You guys can see, just like on the other one here, I just wrapped them up over the top, used that baling wire, and did that to each and every one of them. And just walk under here so you guys can see it real quick. So this is the grid system, and this is what I set up at first. And then I will take the chicken wire and we'll weave it. As you guys can see over here, you can see the way I've woven the previous run in, and we'll just copy that right along this whole area here. And I love this design. It's fairly easy. It lasts. It doesn't rot out with all the rain that we have. And the chickens seem to love it. It definitely seems from the chicken hawks. We've had a very large chicken hawk come down and try to get into our run multiple times, and he hits the top of that wire and then takes back off again. I guess he doesn't see it when he comes down, but anyway, so I think our next project is going to be wrapping this thing with chicken wire, guys. It's going to end up a super long video if I add that part in here too. So I think I'm going to go ahead and update you guys with a secondary video on wrapping it with chicken wire. And but this is how we do the framing, guys. It's not difficult. Anybody can do this. I think my basic tools that I used was a pair of wire snips. Just so I could cut the wire, which I say wire snips. It's actually a pair of pliers. I mean, if you guys look here, it's just a pair of pliers, and you can see right here on this bottom section, you put a piece of wire between that, and it does cut that wire. So I just used that and basically wound all of this wire around these pieces to hold them together. The only other tool that I did use was to cut the rebar. And I'll just show you guys real quick. I used the trusty saw it all, like we call it sawzall. We call them reciprocating saws. But this is just my trusty Ryobi. I think this thing was even handed down to me by my dad, so he used it for years too. But just used a metal blade. So if you've got a metal, this one's a combo metal wood blade, but if you've got a metal blade on it, that'll cut right through that rebar really nicely. And you'll need some of that, because a lot of these rebar pieces that I purchased were about 20-foot sticks, and so I had to cut some of them down and frame some of them in. But I think that was it, basically. Just a reciprocating saw, a pair of pliers, some wire, some rebar, and some T-posts. And you have the frame for your chicken run that'll last you for a long period of time. So I will come back later on another video, guys, and show you guys wrapping this. It's going to be so cool having the chickens to be able to run in a larger area. And but I'm glad you guys came along with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it wasn't a lot on there, and definitely skipped a lot of stuff through the center of it just because I don't have a way of doing a time lapse for you. But hopefully it gives you an idea of kind of what we're doing. But I can't wait till this thing is done. Be a lot more room for our chickens to run through here, and be a lot happier chickens. So anyway, thank you guys for joining Markham Gardens. If you haven't, if you'll subscribe to the channel, and if you guys don't mind sharing just to get the news out there about Markham Gardens, I'd appreciate it. And hope to see you guys next time. Love you. Peace.